Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm Christopher Dahl, and we are here for Space Art on Friday, live from our Subterranean studios here, wherever. Anyway, thank you for joining this Friday. We got a full house, awesome. See, Houdini Bob is here. Hello, Houdini Bob. And we've got, David Kelly's back. Hello, David. How are you doing today? And what else we got here? Let's see. Tasty Whale. Space. I need to hook up an echo to the microphone. Space art. And hey, Maybe So 68. Greetings, Maybe So 68. How you guys doing? Hope you're all doing okay. We are happy to be here on another Friday. It's cold again. So I keep wearing these Carhartt sweatshirts. I've got like 4 of them, the exact same color. It's crazy. It's like my work uniform. It makes it easier for me to hang out down here for hours. Gets a little chilly. Anyway, we're doing okay. We're having a good time. I hope you're all having a good time as well. Welcome back to another Friday afternoon. Let me kick things off. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Greetings. Hey, Edie's here. Hello, Edie from New York City. Greetings. We are here for a happy Friday. Excellent. We got our official United Nuclear mug. Hopefully, I need something to drink. My throat got dry all of a sudden. Sorry about that. Anyway, Houdini Bob says, here in the southeast, Texas nature forgot spring and jumped right into early summer. Temp is 90. Oh, wow. Already. Holy smokes. Yeah, not gonna wait around in Texas for that for the months to get there. We're just gonna drop 90 degrees on you. Holy smokes. Yow. All right, let me kick some things off. Let me grab a couple of links here for you. Thank you so much. We're here every Friday. I've been on a pretty good streak so far. I don't think I've missed a week since we started the year here, actually. Well, I think I started in January. But anyway, if you want to support the stream, if you want to own space art of your own, head on over to the Space Art by Christopher Dahl store. I'm going to go ahead and post the link here. Of course, all proceeds go towards keeping us alive, but also go towards keeping our cats alive, which is really great. So thank you very much. New stuff coming in all the time. And of course, if you are, let me link on this. If you happen to be subscribed on Patreon, here we go. Ba-ba-da. If you happen to be subscribed on Patreon, thank you so much. That goes a long way to supporting us here in the studio. The folks on Patreon, you get sneak peeks at the first things coming into the store, and you will have first dibs on them. So if you like something you see here and really want it, that's the way to go. Thank you so much. And finally, get in on the activity. We have the Space Art by Christopher Dahl Discord. I know it's like way I have to lean over to do this. I am my own assistant. Thank you. Boom. Feel free to join the Discord, the Rigel Prime Discord. That's where we get all the information. That's the best place to see when things are going live, when things are coming out, and that kind of thing. I do still post on social media, but pretty much that's the place to go for right now. And while Discord is a viable option, we'll continue doing it. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see. David Kelly, biggest drop of snow last Monday. Largest single day since 1959. That was a crazy storm. That came through my in-laws live up in northern Michigan, pretty far north. So I think that storm came and can hit you guys eventually, if I'm not mistaken. Edie says, it's in the 50s. In the 50s in New York City. It's got to feel great. Oh my gosh, I hope that snow has melted off the sidewalks there. It really makes it crazy. Maybe So says 68. Did any of you guys get the Tomy Enterprise refit? Hey, I want to know too. The question is, who got the Tomy Refit Enterprise? And for those of you who don't know, the Tomy Refit Enterprise is a big enterprise. It was like what, 36. It's basically the size as the 1/350th scale Polar Lights model kit. I did not get one. I did not order one. It was, I unfortunately my budget doesn't allow such purchases. I'm very bummed. I'm kind of bummed. I'm more bummed I missed out on the tricorder that was out the last couple of years. Anyway. Rhonda's here. Hello, Rhonda. How are you doing this week? Good to see you. Hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods. We're all surviving our bits of stuff heading about. Oh, 100 degrees in SoCal. Holy smokes. California, Texas. Boy, leading the way for spring here. Probably the same weather. Yep, I had the same weather front. I imagine so. Yeah. SoCal coming in clutch. We expected California to be warm. Hey, just picked up a book from the library, How to Become a Famous Artist and Still Paint Pictures by Joe Innes. I'll let you know how it works out. Hey, great. That would be awesome. No, it's really cool. No, it's really fun. And still paint pictures. Be a famous. It's funny. It comes and goes, right, Rhonda? Exactly. Yeah. There's a fine line there. I mean, if you look down the story of Thomas Kinkade, for instance, who's somebody who became notorious for making a whole lot of money with his artwork to his own detriment. It became an animal that consumed him, unfortunately, both creatively and kind of and in his personal life. So I would love the chance to find out how I would do under similar circumstances. Right? Anyway, so let me know what you do. That'd be fantastic. As with anything, as long as there's a market for it, you probably can do okay. I think it's a lot more of a matter of just the application of skill. At least that's where I'm at. I've noticed that I definitely make more money when I'm actually painting more, which as an artist makes it really easy. So anyway, thus I've been in the basement for a couple of months now and working on some cool stuff. Which, by the way, off camera, that sunset I'm working on is looking great. I have to let it set because I have a layer of paint on it. It's an oil painting. We'll be painting in oils today too, but it's an oil painting, and so if you gotta wait a couple of days sometimes when you really want a surface to set up nicely and continue. Pity I can't share a photo of the piles. Oh man, David, I can only imagine you must have gotten some drifts. I'm sure. Holy smokes, the painter of light turned out to have a pretty dark side. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I found it interesting that at least that he worked with Dinotopia, James Gurney, and they worked together on the movie Fire and Ice, which is sort of an animated, kind of pseudo Lord of the Rings style movie, primarily inspired by the artwork of Frank Frazetta. And I've noticed that it is on Tubi, Pluto TV. It's on a few of the others. I actually I'd like to rewatch it again. These did a lot of rotoscoped animation, but what's particularly cool, and the part that both Kinkade and Gurney worked on, were the backgrounds. I think they did character design too, but the background art, they just, the two of them were in a studio and kind of just like where I'm sitting right here, just cranking out these little background bits for all the different scenes and everything, and they had a good time with it. So yeah, very cool. Well, David, you're welcome to share the photos over on our Discord. So there you go. I know I can't just show them here, but anyhow. Alrighty, let's see. So, thank you all for everything. Oh, hey, we just got a sub, Carson Bentley. Welcome aboard, Carson. I apparently have my Streamlabs stuff, but thanks for the subscription. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be doing this every week. There's also for the paid memberships, we're gonna be introducing a few things as we go. That will be particularly fun for those that have paid a bit extra. But for now, our Friday live streams are out in the clear. But thank you and welcome aboard. Awesome. The rare times we do get snow, just half an inch will shut down the city, which is good because people can't drive when it's clear, right? Oh, who did he bop? That was the same thing in the Pacific Northwest in the Seattle area. Like half an inch of snow, forget it. Compounded by the fact that most of the area is in hills, has lots of hills, and the one snowplow they actually have is pretty much out at the airport SeaTac all the time. That was the running joke. Did they get the one snowplow out of SeaTac to go do the entire Seattle area? David Kelly says, I rewatched The Last Starfighter last night. You should do a Gunstar at some point. Oh, that would be actually really cool. I'm very tempted to do a Gunstar. how many of you remember The Last Starfighter? That was a cool movie. It was the first big, hey, we're using computer graphics for the spaceship effects. At least to the extent that it was. It was great. And a very cool design, designed by artist and designer Ron Cobb, who was also involved in movies like Alien and many others. Really, really good stuff. I like the Gunstar design and the what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of the graphic quality of the details. It's very I love that whole era. I've never done a Gunstar. Now that you mentioned it, there's a. It's a cute movie, Edie. It's 80s. It sort of like, I was probably a little too old for the demographic, but I do remember. Yeah, the Death Blossom, exactly. Oh my God, yes. I remember I actually saw that at a drive-in right outside of our right near our home outside of Grand Blanc, Michigan. And what was really fascinating, I wanted to see the movie The Last Starfighter just fine, but I know that they were doing the preview for the David Lynch movie Dune. So for me, it was like I just wanted to see the preview for the movie Dune, and anything that happened in The Last Starfighter was gravy, right? So that was cool. I do. And Air Force Friend's dad was the one who did the graphics for the video game he played. Oh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they made a video. There's a video arcade game. The premise of the movie, Edie, is that the Starfighter game was one of the video arcade games distributed throughout the world, was actually recruiting possible candidates to fight for the Star League against the great evil Zorg, or Zur, I think was his name. I can't remember. It's fun and very 80s. I haven't seen it. We've got it. I think I watched it a couple of years ago. But yeah, I might have to check that out. That would be fun. I haven't done a spaceship in a while. We've kind of been on some other non-spaceship-y things. I should definitely do a spaceship, getting back to our roots a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, tonight, not a spaceship. Thank you, everyone. But we are going to be going back and doing some oils. And then later in the show, we will be... After we work on the main painting, I'm going to do another secret space frog painting. We're going to do another square in the space frog paintings. That should be fun. Zur, and the Kodan Armada. Thank you. That gets said a lot in the movie. At least it was also said a lot in the preview and trailers. You get a lot of it. Excuse me. I'm gonna grab some more water. I have to figure out a music soundtrack for this. This going silent is just kind of silly. At least for me, anyway. It makes me usually have some kind of background music or show of some kind. And that's verboten, since everything is copyrighted. But anyway. So we're just going to go me blabbing. Yeah. So this week. Okay, cool. What are we going to work on? So I have a bunch of older paintings that, I just kind of, you either half finish them, you don't really like them, they just kind of, they're older, and I keep them on hand all the time. So just in case I want to come back to them later. And we have one today. This one was, this is from about, a long time ago. And it was an Aurora Borealis scene. And we did two of these. Actually, this one was Stephanie's. Stephanie and I were painting. We were actually painting together once. The family that paints together stays together. And I was working on I have one that looked pretty similar. We were working off the same paint, actually, which is kind of why they ended up looking this way. We had like a liquid Goldens that I used on this canvas. So it was, I forget where the photo was. I saw it. Actually, I saw the photo in a magazine, like Sky and Telescope. That it was old enough to the point where magazines were common. Hey, how do you like that? And we did these, and they just kind of, we were. It's nothing against her skills, my skills. Mine didn't look any better than this, but it just kind of got tossed in the air in the corner, and I thought, you know what? It's some acrylic paint on a canvas. Let's go over it. Let's see if we can't have some fun brightening up, because I really love the scene. I love the scene a lot. In fact, there was there's a tree that goes in here that I'm going to add, but I'm going to treat this like this is an underpainting, and we're going to go ahead and break out some I've got some oils here from our collection, and I let's see, what do I have on the palette here today? Let's find out together, shall we? So I've got a little ultramarine blue, which is pretty purple. Got a lot of phthalo blue, and this is going to come in handy because I don't realize it. I don't have any phthalo green. I don't know how I don't have phthalo green in oils. I feel like maybe there's a tube of paint missing someplace. It's very annoying to me. So I got to make my own. The greens of this Aurora Borealis, we're gonna make them. So we're gonna make them with that, and we're gonna make them with our yellow here. This is light Hansa yellow. Shared a photo on Discord for anyone that's interested. Oh, very cool. Okay, very cool. Oh, hello. Yeah, let's just go ahead and All right, here. I think this desktop 3, right? Yeah, there we go. Oh my word. This is cool. This is your dog. Okay, this is really fun. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, I tell you. And dog. That's very, very cool. That's okay, folks. That's serious snow. Like that is real snow for real. Thank you for sharing that, David. That's awesome. Man. Whoa. All right. So yeah. We didn't get anything close to that. Not even close. Let's see. I have another yellow. This is more of a warmer yellow that I'm going to use for some other mixing later. And then a couple of browns and apparently a whole lot of cat hair. Whoa, get that out of there. That's so weird. Where'd that even come from? That's so weird. Burnt umber raw sienna. I have 2 magentas. I've got a quinacridone magenta, which is my brighter one, and a light magenta. Yeah, again for kind of mixing effects. I do have some ivory black just in case, and my titanium white. Here we go. For those following along, yeah, that's big. Okay, so bingo the dog. That's very cool. How very fun. Hey, thanks for sharing. That's really cool. Oh my gosh, crazy. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for a second while I prep our canvas. Now, I kind of cleaned this off, dusted. I didn't sand it. I wonder if I need to sand this. It's going to be a pretty smooth closed surface. I'm not going to sand it. I'm going to... Yeah, I think I better sand it. Hold on a second. I think I have some sandpaper over here. Yep. Finished sandpaper there. Crap. Well, where's my... All right. I thought I had more sandpaper. If I can't find it in a second, I'm just gonna... Edward Bartlett, greetings! How you doing? Welcome aboard. We are getting ready to roll here, and I guess we're not sanding it. That's cool. We're not sanding it. I thought I was gonna sand my canvas, but I guess not. Welcome aboard. Happy Friday. All right, here I am just mumbling my way down the studio. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna do. Maybe I was gonna do the wet on wet thing. Yeah, I am gonna do the wet on wet thing. So let me grab a little container of stuff. These are so. We were getting this cat food, Inara. We were getting this cat food for a while, and it all. We saved every one of these orange things just to use as like little paint dishes and stuff. This has a little bit of stuff in it. There we go. And it's hilarious because the cats love playing with these things. And so we'll hear everywhere in the house. We'll hear that. And I probably have about 15 cats outside the door just listening to that right now. Anyway, so... There we are. Let me get a little. I'm using this solvent-free fluid, which is kind of like liquid, which has a pretty harsh odor. And I'm also going to do a little touch, I think I'll do this in a separate container. Let's do this one over there. There we go. Yeah. I'm also going to add just a little bit of the refined linseed oil. Yeah, that is a lot of snow, isn't it? Crazy. All right, let's get some stuff out of here. I didn't want a lot of linseed. I just wanted a little glaze, a little bit of a glaze. And we are going to put this, I'm going to use a pretty wide brush. Yeah, cheap toys. Oh, totally cheap toys. Oh my gosh. It's hilarious too, by the way. They're ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. See, the problem is now that I have them in here, there's I'm just going to mix it straight on. So I'm coming in straight with the linseed oil first. I'm just going to get a little bit on here just to kind of get the surface wet a bit, and then a bunch of my solvent. This is there's actually a scientific way of measuring this out. I'm probably doing myself a disservice by not, but I'm just going to go for it because that's just the way I am. I kind of wanted to work wet on wet with this one anyway. So we're going to do it. And this means it'll dry faster. There we go. Wet on wet dries faster. I don't understand. It's too much. All right, there we go. So I got a nice sheen on this thing here. There we go. Alrighty. And boom, just like that. Rock and roll. All right. So I'm going to start background forward. David says, it's been the harshest winter we've experienced since moving here in 2005. Wow. You know, I've been hearing a lot about it. People are saying that the winter this year in many areas has been exceptionally crazy. And I would say we are no different. Absolutely not. Okay. I'm going to start by preloading some color into this, and I'm going to do, actually, there's one other color I want that I did not bring out. There's my Inden Throne, little Inden Throne. This is a dark blue, very indigo, very dark. Semi-transparent, which is going to work great for what we're doing, I think. We'll find out. And just going to grab a bit of that. And I'm going to come up here on the top. I'm just going to load up some color. Not a lot, just enough to get kind of a, yeah, you can see it going over the green there. We're going to be covering a lot of this up. And I'm going to need a little bit more than that. There we go. Oh, I'm going to also need some bits there. Okay, cool. Aha! New subscribe. We got subscribers today. Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the, a little bit of my ultramarine blue to go along with it. Dun, da, da. We had a bad winter here in New York City too. I think it balanced out the oppressive heat dome we had last summer. Yeah. All right, so I got a little bit of that, and then I need a, I need this core through the middle. So I'm gonna grab a little. Grab the phthalo. I don't usually do the straight colors like this, but I like the effect we're going to get out of it. So I'm just going to work this on in, kind of like tinting the canvas a little bit. All right, now I kind of want it darker. I don't feel like it's going dark enough, so I'm gonna mix up a little. I'll pull this on over and you can watch me mix it. I'm gonna mix up a good dark. I'm adding a little bit of this burnt umber. We're going to have a touch of the magenta there. So we're kind of getting a chromatic black. I thought maybe the Inden Throne would be enough, but I need more coverage than that. So I'm gonna darken it just a bit as we go. Yeah, I didn't practice this painting. I am making this all up as I go. So FYI, there we are. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's see. Yeah, let's just do that. There we go. We're just going to do that. And the nice thing, you know, when you do this, you don't have to use quite as much. This was the way to go. Yeah, you know, forget that Inden Throne over the dark. That would work. That would have worked better, I think, if I'd had an actual dark like a black canvas, right? Like if my canvas was totally black, it probably would have worked better for that. But it isn't, and there we go. A little edge painting on there. All right. I keep leaning away. My microphone's in a very awkward place. There we go. Okay. All right, I think that's about as far as I want to go with that. Now, there's like this golden horizon coming by here that I want to try to capture. Purple golden. It's not golden, purple. Mr. Doll. Purple horizon. Yes, there we go. Aha. Well, I'm going to move some things out of the way before I proceed. Just clearing the deck a little bit, so I don't have as many things competing for my attention and space. Besides, that means I can pull this on up. There we go. And can mix up my skies here. Okay. I'm kind of working dark. I'm sort of working dark to light. Not really. Let me work on this purple, though. If I'm not mistaken, it's not going to take much. I'm going to get a little bit of phthalo blue, just a touch of that. There we go. And I want a good purple. Good, deep purple. There we go. I think that's what I wanted. Okay, that's it. Yep, that's the path. But I am going to add just a touch of indanthrene. We're going to get, I need quantity, so I'm going to get a little bit more of this. And then a little bit more of my, magenta. Not as hot, but I'm trying to mix what's basically dioxanine purple is what I'm going for here. And this is pretty close, right? It's hard to see with that unless I tint it. All right, but I'm going to tint it anyway. So let's bring some down here and go ahead and grab it. We're going to end up adding some titanium white to get this nice... Oh, look at that. That's a gorgeous purple. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, yeah. There we are. Ha 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 ha. That a good. And let me do a lighter one down here. Oh, pushing this up so you can actually see what's going on. There we go. And, you know, you could actually just probably spend the first hour just mixing your paints like this if you're so inclined. Anyway, I wanted a lighter one. And I need to get all the rest of the paint off there. I'm just chilling out here while I'm mixing paint. You know, weirdly enough, this is the activity that will most likely trigger like repetitive stress injuries for me. I don't understand why that is the case. It just is. And I don't like it. But so I have to kind of be careful with how I work with this. It's a little bit like, you know, palette knives. You don't have to use a lot of force with them, but I forget that because I'm just like a blue collar painter. There we go. Hey, Wes is here. How you doing? Greetings. Did I see that? Okay, there we go. Aha. Happy Friday, and how are you today? Greetings. We're all struggling because of the Dune trailer, right? Isn't that the case? I built my house on a floodplain, and now it's washed away. The government should do something about it. Well, you know, minor issues, right? Welcome aboard, everybody. We are going to be doing this very pretty sort of... what's the thing I'm looking for? We're working on oils today. Thank you. We'll work on this kind of aurora borealis-y kind of thing, and having fun with it. I'm not just grilled some fish sandwiches. It's like 98 degrees outside. Hey, we were hearing SoCal was pretty crazy. Well, you're not. I know you're not. Wait, you guys aren't SoCal. You're Northern Cal, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't mean to dox you. That's not my intention. But I was just trying to remember off the top of my head. Oh yes, if there's any doxing being done, it'll be done by me. Thank you very much. Oh, that's it. It's actually this is about lighter than I thought it was. Okay, cool. This is happening, folks. We're doing this. And we're gonna get a little brighter down here. I'm not going to ignore that pink that I see in there. We're not ignoring that, I promise. Bum, ba-da-ba, da-da-da. It's freaking August out. Okay, you are SoCal. Okay, sorry about that. I couldn't remember. I probably I should know this. A lot of you have ordered from me, and I should know addresses. But it's funny how brain says no. Alrighty, all right, hold this down and doing this nice blendy, 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 blendy. There we go. This is why I love oils. Docks away. I'll make barbecue. Oh, I'm in. I'm totally in. Oh, I haven't. You know, the weather's finally getting nice enough here where we can start. I can consider the grill again. So yeah, we're all very happy about that. I'm happy about it because we've had not friendly grilling weather for a while, to say the least. Anyway, wah. Grilling and barbecuing, yes. And believe me, I do know there is definitely a difference. You're close to JPL, that's right. That should be easy for you to remember. Way back in the day, I very much thought I just need to study whatever it takes for me to get into JPL, just so I could be there to watch all the landings. I hope they get money again, because it just really sucks when they don't have money. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can't nicen this thing up. Always 90 in Southeast Texas, unless it's 100 where you were born. It's the first 2 weeks without heavy rain we've had in about 2 months. Yeah, we're kind of we're dancing between it. I couldn't believe it when this week we got back to snow again. Oh, look at that, very nice. This one needs to be a little bit more. I'm forgetting. I'm losing my touch here. I used to have a pretty good grip on doing these gradients. I'm overworking it. Don't overwork it, Chris. Don't overwork it. There we go. Arts of Space. We're painting an aurora. Yes, indeed. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Howdy hi, everybody. Now, we've got a ground plane here. And I'm going to need to gray things up a little bit. So I'm going to take one of my colors, which is going to be this one, and we're going to bring it up over here. I'm going to go with a little bit of my raw sienna. So this is going to help me gray it down a bit. If I wanted to gray it down a bit more, I'm going to add a little yellow. Yeah, I think I'm going to add a touch of yellow to it. We're going to really gray this stuff together here. Dude, the JPL layoffs have really hit our community. I know. Oh my God. It's there's no good excuse for it. I am existentially angry about it all, honestly. And I have to check myself. I have to not reply to it and think about it because it makes me mental. Anyway, yep. I live in Pasadena. I live in finally Kingwood. Sister lives in Brenham. Oh, cool. It's as if last summer wasn't hot enough. Exactly. Oh, wait, I'm catching up on stuff. Houdini Bob says, El Nino's supposed to be really strong this year, so it's not going to bode well for summer. Yeah, we had a couple of stretches. The Edie mentioned the heat dome. Boy, that really, that knocked us on our butt here a little bit. Not me on my butt here in the studio. Not going to lie. That was crazy. All right. I've just been leaning over here to do all of this stuff. Let me see if I can get... I need the ground snow. I painted the aurora a few times in the last couple of years. It was a pretty dynamic solar cycle. Oh, I know. That's on the other side. We are also getting some pretty crazy solar weather, aren't we? Really crazy solar activity. I'm going to just put some of this down. I want this color down, even though it's lighter than what I have. So I'm rethinking how I'm going to approach this. And I think I want a little bit of this, a little bit of a little bit more of the purple. I did green, and the minute I do that, I lived in Pasadena. Oh, I read that one. I painted a for you. I've got all of those. Okay, cool. Darker, yes. Darker and greener. Let's try... darker and greener. That's not where I wanted to go. Let's try that. There we are. That's a little better. Okay, yeah. Again, we were kind of going off a photo, so I don't know. We'll see how this works. Solar maximum, baby, makes me glad I wasn't able to sell my H alpha scope. That's right. These are important factors. I've come close a couple of times to selling my gear again, and I've made that mistake in the past where I've sold stuff like telescopes and camera gear and stuff like that. I think I'm holding on to it through thick and thin this time. So yeah, at least for the time being, just for the same reason alone. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to. I'm thinking this is snowy. The end is nigh. Yeah. There's actually a slight chance of Aurora. Probably not gonna be a big one. I've been hearing that. Unfortunately, every time that some event like that happens, we end up here with like tonight. It's gonna be overcast again. So yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right. Now I'm just gonna come in and do some. I'm grabbing my colors that I previously used, and this is gonna be like our horizon. Yay! Because there were like mountains in the back there. Actually, I'm gonna carry up some mountains so I cover up some of those lines. There we go. We're gonna. Oh, that kind of looked weird. You know, sometimes you work something and you think it's gonna be good, and it just isn't. So I'm gonna you know, yeah. These were the tones in our brains. Okay, cool. My end is white. My end isn't either. Oh my gosh. We are on the hills. There's not really. Yeah, the weird thing about it is I don't really have a left or right. Usually I have a left or a right. I don't really have a left or a right here. These mountains are bothering me, so I'm just gonna try to bring those on in. All right. Stormy northern weather. I'm gonna stop using the biggest brush that I own, which, hey, came in well. This is a good start. This is a very good start. I'm liking what's happening here. Hey, I actually made cookies this week. I gotta tell you, the two things I don't like getting paint on my hands, and I don't like getting cookie dough on my hands. So why is it that I have actually made a living out of being both a baker and a painter is beyond me. Aha. Anyway. Yes. All right. What am I going to use for this now? I still want kind of a flat. I got it. And I'm still getting random cat hairs floating in the air here. I know it's because the furnace is actually on. Let's see if I can yank this one. There we go. You know, I was actually vacuuming today too. And that's the sad part. I'm gonna keep whining about vacuuming. Yes. Actually, I'm gonna grab a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of. Where's our? All right, here we go. I need a little bit of wetter. I kind of want to try to indicate some hills here. And detail, like we're kind of we're on a grassy fjord. Simple. You're a masochist. Exactly. There we are. That was easy. We have you covered. And then using the same blue here, we're going to get a little activity in and around the snow there. There we go. Yeah. We need more of this. And this isn't a landscape that I'm just kind of making this up in my head today, folks. There's no real. It's not a real place. I don't have any photo reference. The photo reference we had was in a magazine. That's how old it was. Okay, so yeah, there we go. I'm just sort of working bits of atmospheric perspective to try to generate some depth here, and maybe some. Yeah, we'll get a little. We're gonna get a little hint of some ground work here. I'm pretending like I'm a landscape artist is what I'm doing. Yeah, there've been a lot of landscapes lately. We're doing. I'm doing a lot of that. Doing a lot of that. Thank you. Picasso got brush hairs in a painting, so he painted a bird's nest. Yes. If I get the cat, I should paint a cat. Yes, exactly. You know, it's funny. I haven't painted enough cat for as much. I'm not as weird of a cat guy as what people would think, right? It just happened. I never really painted animals or people. It was always landscapes and spaceships. So, yeah, we do what we can. All right, I'm gonna move on to I've got a filbert here. I kind of want to lighten this up through the middle, and I feel like the way to do it. Where did my I need more of my solvent-free liquid. Oh, there it is. I think that's it, isn't it? No, it's just the liquid. There we go. I'm trying to identify these by F it. There we go. Okay. I don't know. I still have some here. Note to self: don't use the same cup color colored cup for everything you do. It ain't right. So, oh boy. Let's see if any amount of yellow is going to help this. Yeah, just a little bit. We're going to get a little bit in here. It's very I'm going to give it just a hint across the horizon here. The danger is it's going to mix with what's on there, and we'll be in a world of hurt. I paint cats. Rhonda paints very good cats, honestly. Rhonda paints very nice cats. How do the cats like like Cat's like, don't stop painting me, please. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I know. Yo. Okay, I did not like the yellow as much as I thought I would. So what happens if it's just straight white? Probably not what I want to do, but I'll mix it straight on here anyway. Oh, this paint is so wet, so wet. It's like painting with melted butter. I gotta remember that. They bitch a lot, yeah. I tried painting cats and dogs. They don't like right. Oh yes. I'm gonna try to de-streakify this as we go. I'm liking that purple, man. It matches my socks. Hey, Mediocre's here. How you doing, Mediocre? You got purple socks? Awesome. I love this purple. I had to mix it myself. I don't have dioxazine purple in oils. I'm missing two major colors. Well, I don't use the purples a lot, but I am missing phthalo green, which is really annoying. How you doing? I saw your video on the on Firefly. That's really kind of cool. I know it gets a bad rap by folks that are just like, we don't want it. We want some new stuff. I know that, but dang it, you know, Firefly was cool, and the people that were in it had a good time. Well, most of them had a good time. Yeah, I know. I'm excited about it. I'm very excited. I'm excited for them. I thought it was really cool. So yeah, very fun. All right, let me see if I can't work in a few. We're gonna get a hint of a cloud structure out here, right? So that's not just completely. There we go. We're gonna get just a hint of that. You can mix the blue and the other. That's what I did. I mixed my I mixed my phthalo blue because they're kind of. I mean, phthalo green is basically a variation of phthalo blue. It's all the same stuff. When you do that with the with a very green shifted yellow, like Hansa yellow, and you do get a pretty good, you do get a good facsimile. Let me pull it on over here. This I'm gonna have to probably do. I'm gonna have to make room to do it. Actually, yeah, I actually am. So let me grab this. I'm gonna grab my grays here, pull these down, and let's get this out of here. Let's get this out of here. All of this is going to kind of become my... Oh, I wanted to keep that. Nah, you didn't. Too late, too late. Well, we'll keep it up here with all of this and make this a chromatic black. That's what we'll do. All right, cool. Sorry, chromatic gray. There we go. I know, it's off camera. All right. Phthalo green. All right. We're going to need it anyway, so good a time as any to work it out. So this is a very... it's going to be a little muddy, too. That's okay. So this yellow right here, Hansa yellow, very green shifted. It won't take much of this, but there we go. That, you know, happy times. There's your phthalo green. I know. And then we'll use some white, and we'll brighten it up. And we can adjust the lightness and the darkness. Actually, I don't think white is maybe the way to go. Well, you can get this white shifted green will come in handy, but the other way to do it is just to kind of keep going with yellows. So it has that mint candy look to it, of course. I think Titmouse would have been a perfect choice. Oh, cool. Bum, 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 bum. I'm excited about 2. Not really sure about the animation studio they picked, though. We don't know for that. They aren't known for that quality level, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay, interesting. I'd heard of them, Wes, but I agree with you. I think Titmouse would have definitely been very much... Yeah, I think Titmouse would have been the way to go, too. Who knows? Maybe Titmouse is just loaded, right? I mean, they've got a pretty packed plate. Or maybe they just didn't want to touch it. You're right. I don't know. So weird. I have some colors in this that are interfering a bit with the gray. So these grays are getting a little... The greens are getting a little grayed out, which may not work well for me. Bob Ross mentioned you could get green by mixing black and yellow. I never could get green. Oh yeah. Well, it depends on your black, right? So, well, let's try it. I've got a black here. This is ivory black. I'm not going to use that much, but I'll try it. And then my yellow, I have a... Which one's going to... I'll bet Hansa yellow here. This Hansa yellow might go. Let's try it. Well, okay, look at that. It did pick up probably a little bit of green off my palette knife, but you get kind of a yellowish. Yeah, you get like gosh, this is almost like sap green, I think is what they would call that. Yeah, look at that. Hard to say what the budget is for that project. You know what, Wes? I'll be willing to bet the budget. You know, I don't know. I would wager there's no budget yet, or if there's promissory budget, would be me just sniffing in the wind here a little bit, right? I'm not trying to shit on it at all. I'm just going off of just kind of the way it sounds. I think that they have some very serious interest to the point where they are confident in their ability to get the budget, and certainly confident enough to approach the animation studios, right? Yeah, very much so. I'm gonna grab myself a water real quick. Anyhow, yeah. It's I think it's pretty cool. I think it's exciting. And I'm actually happy for them. But, oh, they must have a budget. Wait a second. Yeah, because I don't think any of the performers downstream of Alan and Nathan would be on board unless there was some Unless there was a legitimate paycheck to it. I don't think it's a volunteer work, and that's nothing against them. I'm not trying to say that's against them, but you're not going to step up for a spec operation, at least not on this level. Um, so yeah, that's my gut. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong about it, but yeah. Oh wow! Look at this crazy! Wow, look at that crazy reflection off of my light up there. Isn't that funny? Holy smokes! Woohoo! 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 Cool. They'll go woke, then go broke. You know what? Um, the anti woke shit. You should put a lid on that right now. Yeah. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Hey, time for a break. All right, be right back, everybody. Ba-ba-da-bum-bum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Right fucking now. Oh, as I wish, Christopher. Oh, you're gonna be smug about it. Yeah. Bum. All right, let's get on to the painting. Hey, everybody. There we go. It's possible that Philion is financing a pilot to shop around. Like you said, they need a home. Exactly, right? I think they are shopping for distribution and probably further financing for the series. Probably, yeah, yeah, I think so too. And they're definitely far along into it before this is why they got this up here. So very cool. I'm actually nervous about this part. Doing the Aurora is actually making me nervous. So there we go. Let's try because we're gonna give it a shot. This is a very wet surface, right? I need a moderator. Hey, I know, I do. I've had some. Uh, I'll be taking volunteers. Iridium promised, but that's okay. Uh, let's just get some. Let's just do some. Let's do some painting. Let's do some painting. I'm going to see how this looks, because it kind of had a zigzag up along here, but that's going to be good. No, this color is going to be good. I'm happy for that. Hey, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, everybody's welcome, and you know, I get upset about things, but I really do think that the less we're being shitty about it, the better. I think there's plenty of people being shitty about stuff without it having to carry it into here. I mean, you walk into a studio with everything ready to go and a couple of million customers begging for more, you've got a good chance of getting picked up. Exactly, right? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. I get disappointed in humanity is what I do. Anyway, yeah. So, I feel like we should do better than this is what I think. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. So basically, I'm just kind of trying to pretend like I'm an aurora borealis, and what would I look like? Right? I don't know. But we're going to do a couple. We're going to have this one, and I think I'm going to get an edge on this one over here. And notice I'm using my paint knife to do it. Zero tolerance for that fascist, bigoted crap. Oh, I am done. I am absolutely fed up with the with the fascist stuff. You know, it's the last thing in the world I expected to have to deal with in my adult life as I'm approaching basically retirement. Is this kind of petty bullshit? But I'm painting and I'm happy. So I'm painting and I'm happy. Painting. It's gonna be the angriest aurora borealis you've ever seen. There we go. There's one. I wanted to do that anyway. I need the stage a little bit. There we go. Yes. All right. There we go. My aurora shall block you. I mean, hey, there we go. I don't know. I think I need a more angle. I think I need more angle on this one. There we go. Bump, bump, bump. Yeah, there we are. And as I get lower here, I actually went too low with this green. I think this green, I should have gone with a lighter one, but yeah. There we go. Ionize that oxygen. I'm not as fond of the big swish in the middle here. I liked it better. It had more character before I did this, but I will. I'll work it. We'll work it. We'll work it. Boom. Yeah, there we go. I'll do a couple more up there. These are not my best, but well, you know, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it anyway. All right. Now, where it gets fun, right? Where it becomes fun. I'm gonna try my fan brush a little bit and see if we can get some results. There we go. See if I can't get so. Oh, I try to go in one direction because remember this is like filaments of light. So one level of green. I think I'm gonna have to do more, to say the least. Yeah. Bum. I just, Stalinist, very much so. I mean, obviously so. It's gross. It's really gross. We are better than this. Yeah. I think I'm gonna stop using the palette knife for this part. I think I want something else to pick this up. am always hoping for a Star Trek future. That's just me. And the further away we get from it, the sadder I get. All right. I need a. I guess maybe I will. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use. Okay, I'm gonna go with my filbert here. I want to try to get this in the bit here. I'm gonna use a little. I'm gonna try to get in the. Let's see. I just need to dot in. Right. That's what I needed to do. Okay. So just to give a demonstration, I'll go here to the edge. I've been working on my charcoal grilling lately, buying whatever's cheap at the grocery store, just practicing. I like briquettes, the cheap briquettes. Honestly, I think you're right. That is absolutely the way to go. Sometimes they have some inexpensive wood. What do you call it? Lump charcoal. That's what I was trying to say. Lump charcoal. Yeah, very much so. I was doing some instead of just like straight meat on grill. I was bringing out the old cast iron skillet and doing some gosh, what were they like potatoes and stuff. It was really fun. I made a big bunch of bone-in chicken thighs last weekend. Oh, hello. Ooh, do those go straight in the freezer? Is that the plan? I love that. I do. I love that a lot. Okay, so we're going to dot some of those in. And now that we've got some brighter paint, so I'm going to pull this on up. There we go. We're going to get little effects. Yeah, there we go. This is what we're trying to do. Just a bit like that. And by going slowly, he says, we'll just work up some... Let's just go ahead and I want to kind of get some hint of a trail, if you will. There we go. There's nothing like the taste of grilled food. One of the oldest art forms. I agree. I swear, everything. I was doing I'm sorry, I was going on about this. I was doing just a big skillet, cast iron skillet over the fire with like potatoes and oils, and it was really lovely. I did them all in about 2 hours to see if I could get the skin really crispy with a hot fire, but not dried out. It was challenging to keep the fire fed, but they came out pretty good. Oh, that's so cool. Now I'm excited for. I'm excited for outdoor food and cooking. That is definitely a fun thing here for us. We enjoy it, and we enjoy the season for it too. You get into spring and you get into summer, and all the produce starts getting really fun. There we go. Yeah. Art blocking cat. Yes, exactly. I'm going to load up a little bit more of this green. I'm grabbing a bit more of the green from before, hoping to get a little bit of the effect in there. Oop. All right, and I think I'm trying to get the shimmering curtains, and doing the geometry is pretty nuts. There we go. I really want a good pellet smoker. They're expensive. They are, very much so. My brother's got one, and he's turned into quite a barbecue chef. My dad always had like a Weber nearby, so we kind of picked up a lot of stuff from that, and he really got a good deal on a nice Traeger, and he's been turning out some really good stuff. I just roll with the Humber Weber kettle grill. You and me both. I am a Weber Kettle Grill Aficionado. They're very they're robust. I have owned so many of them. Oh my word, it's so fun. But yeah, no, I agree. I am on board with the kettle grill action there. Okay, there we go. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I had a lot of fun too with the smaller cousin of the Weber kettle grill, the Smoky Joe, which is just a little one. We used that when we were quite heavily on the road, and I actually I've been finding that it works almost as well for smaller. I mean, yeah, it works really good. So yeah, I do like the smaller ones. I live in an apartment prohibited from having a grill. Frustrating. I hear you. Oh, when Stephanie and I had lived in a couple of places, it was, yeah, it was a little bit. We had to get creative, right? I think one year before they were really paying attention to this sort of thing, we went out on the balcony, right? And we managed to pull it off. But yeah. I do want a very nice Weber gas grill. I use almost daily too, but I want that smoky flavor. Yeah, that's one of my favorite tomato salsa recipes is uses let's sort of look at uses smoked, grilled smoked tomatoes, right? And that's one of my favorites. Just doing a whole tray of tomatoes on the grill. All right, what do we think, folks? Do you think are we kind of getting the effect? Is it silly? I don't know. Is it silly? I don't know. All right, I'm going to go back to my palette knife here in a little bit. I'm going to try something else because sometimes in the same effect you'll get I know, I'm back to the knife again. There we go. We're going to get a little bit of I needed some magenta in there. I did that for a long time. I got around it by getting an induction cooktop and cast iron grill pan. Worked out really well. Put some wood chips in foil lid. Oh, that's cool. I love our having a gas stovetop. I've been having a very good time with our. I have a Lodge skillet. That's become our burger choice. So yeah. All right, it's hard to see, but I'm getting some darker quinacridone magenta in here in some of these. I'm trying to make sure I don't mix it too much, otherwise it's going to end up looking like candy. I don't want that. Right. Well, sorry about that, folks. I've gone a couple of years without having to really worry much about having moderation. So I guess bound to happen, right? Yeah. Okay, this is going to be in danger of looking very candy, and I don't know if I like it, but we're going to find out. So let's get some. I'm going to bring this on down. Bring it on down. I'll pull this on closer so we can see what we're doing. There we go. All right. Too much white, too much of the lighter stuff, but we'll work it. We'll work it in. Ooh, that's actually kind of cool. It's getting into the purples, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Little bit. There, pull this back up. There we are. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting there. I have a cast iron skillet. You think it's looking fun? Thank you. I'm having fun with it too. I'm enjoying it, but it's just nervous because it's a little, it gets out of your wheelhouse, right? Trying to retint it a little bit more, like get some of the light out. I think my light magenta is basically my quinacridone magenta with with some titanium white, and that's what I'm seeing here. So there we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, very fun. I'm gonna see if I can't get it feathered in to the point where I can just make it nice. Make it nice. I think I missed something. Oh yeah, no, you didn't. You missed nothing. Yeah, you missed nothing. You're fine. We're good. Everything's great. There we go. All right, so yeah, this is actually really fun. I am gonna do the thing that I didn't do before on it, so I'm gonna have a. I need a thinner brush. Let's get a. Got a good thin brush. All right. Grab a little bit of my gray that I mixed up before. Oh, pull it on the side over here. And let's just get it. I'm going to work on my foreground here a little bit. We're going to just kind of add a grilled chicken thighs. They were quite nice. Ah, thank you, David. Appreciate it. Yes, the grilled chicken thighs. Yeah, I've been on a diner burger kick for a while. So my Lodge skillet or my Lodge griddle out on the on our gas stovetop, it ends up being my diner burgers thing, just to kind of smash burgers and so forth. So it's all been indoor this year more than anything else. Yeah. Ba 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 da 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 da. Little wider tree. The original photo that I got this from had a tree, so I'm gonna go out of my way to add the tree. Oh, too wet, too wet, too wet. Ah, okay. There's a point. That's why I ended up with this kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't want that to go a little too crazy. There we go. I have to think like a tree. I don't even know what kind of tree this is. It's just a tree. Smash burgers. I actually managed to, if you, instead of like gigantic cheeseburgers, if you go for like small patties, you can get a really good facsimile to like fast food burgers, you know? And that was kind of my goal. Something you could cook quick and make a lot of them. Just kind of like you would if, instead of like going to McDonald's or something, which I still am prone to doing. I haven't done that actually in almost 6-7 months though, but yeah, there we go. I had food poisoning from Freddy's Smash Burgers twice. I keep going back. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There was a day that I wasn't feeling very good, and I was like, I'll be fine. Let's just get some. We'll just do burgers, right? And they are really good burgers. Oh, they were so good. But I was instantly sick, and I felt so bad because I was like, oh my gosh, it just was, frustrating. I went back, and you just got to get back up on the wagon there, Yeah, a couple of leftover meat cutoffs I'm going to play with tomorrow. Ooh, cool. A piece of the brisket plate and small skirt steak. Yes, exactly. That is the way we like it. Well, I feel like I did too much Aurora, I think is what I did on this one. I feel like it's a little crowded up here, right? A little on the crowded side. But that's okay. We're gonna go with it. I like where it's going compared to like, what it started as. So yeah, it's fun. I enjoy. This was a for those just joined. This was a repurposed painting. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just a sucker for a cheeseburger. I'm an addict. Me too. I know. it is my thing. And you know, if you're really trying to get like well, so Seattle, Dick's Cheeseburgers, right? Dick's Burgers, which to me is just like it's one state of burger that I like, and it is an inexpensive fast food style. They only have a few things on their menu, but they're really good. They're still relatively inexpensive, although apparently they're getting in trouble for not paying overtime, which is not good and a little unusual for them, as usually they paid their staff very well. Anyway, just call it Iceland and you're fine. Exactly. Exactly. It's my Iceland painting. All right, I'm gonna call that. All right. In the meantime, let's get a little here. I'm gonna go in and grab some. I'm gonna go right ahead and sign this one off. There we go. C doll. Oh, I can't do that. Oh my gosh. D O L L. There we go. And we will get that on in there. Yeah. All right. Hey, good times. Let me try another stab at that. Here we go. Get a little bit more of this. Actually, what I should probably do is grab. Yeah, let me do that. Let me clean this up a little. Let's get. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That'll be the way to go. Yeah, I'm gonna come in and highlight it with a little bit of magenta. There we are. Bip, bip, boo. There we go. Another one to put on my list. Really. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. There we go. And I'm going to present this one to you as a revised. There we go. A revised sunset. Or, yeah, a revised Aurora Borealis. The light's going to hit it a little weird because I do have a very blue light from this side. But there we go. Yeah. Happy times. I'm digging it. All right, so this is a very wet painting, right? So what I typically do when I have a painting like this is I will walk it over to a spot where it will not be bothered by a cat. Otherwise, it'll end up with a cat print through the middle of it. So I'm going to do that real quick. Let's just go ahead and hit that. Hey, thank you. I'll be right back in a second while I find a place for it. There we go. Yeah. Alrighty then. And so the other, are we going to add star? Oh, shit. Yeah. Fudge. Oh, shit. Yes. How could I forget? Baking soda to dry it out. Yeah, right. I know, right? Stars. Right. Yes. How dare I? How dare I not do this? Anyway, yeah. So stars. I wasn't gonna do a ton, but I will do a few. French fry heat lamps. Exactly. We do actually have our baking rack that we used to have way back when, and you've seen a baking rack, right? It's a wheeled rack that has like piles of just slots where you slide in your baking trays and everything, right? Perfect. And since we're not really using it for baking anymore, it actually is now set up to have paintings on it, and I have a bunch of them out there right now. I mean, it's a perfect use for that thing, but yeah. French fry heat lamps. Plus, with the temperatures being as cold as they are, our furnace runs a lot. The humidity level in our basement is very, very low. So it actually does not take too long for our paintings to dry. All right. I'm going to get a couple here that are just kind of, we're going to start with a couple like there. We're going to get a couple of low to the horizon ones. And then one right up here. Okay, these are, again, folks, hero stars only. We are going to blop. We're going to get a couple of those in there. Maybe we'll have another one on the horizon. Maybe that's Venus. Oh, wait, Iceland. I probably wouldn't be able to see it, too. Yeah, we could. Probably could still see that. There we go. Boom. Now, let me see about... Maybe I'll do a quick... It's got to be faster than the Pacific Northwest. Yes, very much so. Oh, there were some of those summer days. It was nuts. You'd think it would have gone just from the heat, but the humidity is a factor as well. I need a little bit more of this. I need to thin out my paint a little bit. There we are. All right, now I'm gonna see if I can drop some on here from high above, right? Just a few. There we go. Oh, they're really light, but that's okay. We'll just we'll get some up there. Oh, they're very faint. For some strange reason, Rhonda says, I'm craving barbecue chicken and French fries. These are important foods. This is some of the major food groups, right? Barbecue chicken and French fries are very important to our culture. I would agree, actually. I'm not being facetious. No, there we go. Okay. There we go. I've got a couple. They're very hard to see, but they are in there. So you have my word. You'll just have to take my word for it. No, no, very cool. Yeah. There we are. See, we get a little. Anytime you drop by, we'll have good foods. I promise. All right. This time for sure. Okay, I didn't do a lot of stars, but I kind of figure it's like a Twilight thing. You're not going to see quite as many. All right, here we go. Space art. Are we swimming on it? Okay. All right, here we go. All right. So, what are we going to do here? Okay. It's actually a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. You know, what's cool is I will probably, you end up with your palette, right? The only the stuff that came into contact with this will dry really fast. Everything else is going to be active for a while. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to keep it handy. Whoop, just flip that over for use later. There we go. Just going to set that aside out of the way. All right, get a little cleanup of the old counter here. There was a week I did these where, thank you. That's pretty. There was one of the weeks I did these. I had forgotten that oil paint can basically get anywhere, everywhere, right? I was pulling my hands up all over the place, just getting. It was oil paint everywhere. It was driving me crazy. As previously noted, I am not fond of that sort of thing. Nah, I'm just kidding. It was fine. It was fine. Let me just hop on my mobility scooter and head over west. Be there in 2035. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Alrighty. That was a fun painting. I like the time frame on that one. I have more of those paintings where I think a revision might be in order, and some of them were our live stream paintings. There's a couple that I'm like, I think that would be good if we pushed it over the edge a little bit. So I might pull this some out. We need transporters, right? Exactly. We need transporters so we can all meet at the same spot. I think the fried chicken and smash burger space art party should be a thing. They won't let you on the freeway with your scooter. Fascists! How dare they? That's it. We're up in arms. The king says, "Oh, the peasants are revolting." Of course they are. No, That's an old Wizard of Id joke. Whoops. Throwing his pencils around. I tell ya, it's a travesty here. All right. Here we go, folks. We are going to let's switch on over to the old Space Frog. The Space Frog drawing. Yay! As usual. Actually, I missed it last week. I'm just going to give up on my I'm just going to give up my cord for my headphones. So I missed last week. I'm so sorry. I think I missed the week before. We're gonna do another one of these. So we each, this is Space Frog in a theme, and we draw for the theme, or we draw for the subject right here. Man, if there were transporters, we'd be having a dinner party for everyone. Chris painting and you cooking every week. Oh, I am in. How fun would that be? Next Thursday will be the model contest, and we'll all show up and work on models. I think that would be a fun time. Alrighty, here we go. I'll pull. Let's see. I have to keep these someplace else, but there we go. All right. Our previous listing was Cats, Inglourious Bastards, the movie, Nebula, Spaghetti, Orange, The Fifth Element, and Battle. Ha 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 ha. There we go. All right. Let's see what our subject is going to be this time. Bum, 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 bum. Drum roll, please. So, Stephanie came up with this concept, a collage painting made up with different scenes. And our subject tonight is...
Marvin the Martian. Oh, you blew it up.
I love Marvin the Martian. That's one of my all-time favorites of the Warner Brothers cartoons. And yes,
You eluded Pew 35 space modulator. Oh, you've broken the space modulator. That Earthling.
Yes. Almost 301 miles away from Mammoth Lake. Okay, that's not bad. That's a day trip, right? It's a couple of day trip. Alrighty, Marvin the Martian. Here we go, folks. I'm going to clear the deck a bit. Here we are. And let's see, we got our board here.
Need to have the space modulator in this painting.
I agree. Listen to your daughter pick up food. She's closer. We've sent. I know some people even order them. We've sent cookies before cross country, and cookies worked okay. Not so sure about the meat things, but we could make it work. Let's see which corner. It's gonna be. I can't do any of the left ones just because of the way my stuff's configured. I'm gonna have to think about this one from now on. All right. Well, I think Space Modulator's gonna get the top corner up here, folks. Gotta run a dailies. Good luck. I hope the dailies are cool. All right. We are switching paints too. We are gonna be switching over to water-based acrylics. Let me grab them. All right, here we go. Water-based acrylics coming right up. Okay, so we are going to be using this one right up here. Let's grab the old Camerino, and I'm going to pull my table back so I can actually see what I am doing, and we will bring up the old bit there. All right, let's try. All right, I am going to probably... There's no probably about it. This is exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to outline this with a little bit of my carbon black. So there we go. Carbon black, good for you, good for me. As always, everybody, I think the sound has gone well, but let me know if anything happens where the sound doesn't go well. I'm experiencing recurring snap, crackles, and pops with my microphone. And a lot of it has to do with the static in my environment. And it's also probably something to do with the pretty poor power that we actually have coming into this room. Ah, it couldn't be that, Chris, could it? Yeah, it could be that. It could be that. Yes. Oh, yeah. Anyhow, happy times. Well, we're in a G1 geomagnetic storm right now. Aurora are happening somewhere. That's right. I thought that was the case. That we are in the midst of a geomagnetic storm. I did hear some. I need a different. Where's a different one here? There was kind of like a note to keep your heads up today, right? Yeah. Let's see. Amongst my other containers, I'm going to use a smaller container for my water. This is ridiculous. I have like my giant water thing here, which is absolutely absurd and unnecessary. So, all right, let's get this on going. So the space modulator would have to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So what we're gonna need here is the well, let's just not beat around the bush about it, right? Let's just get let's get our subjects in here. I liked doing the black and white here, but this one will be colored in, so we will do this just fine. But and again, I'm going off of memory on these, so yes. Oh, thank you. I know he wears like the little the little Roman helmet. And then of course the brush off the top. Right? There we go. Bum 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 bum. There we go. And then like he has like the flaps down the side, right? There we go.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
And I think small neck with a collar. And the Illudium Pew 34 space modulator. Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to paint over this because there's obviously gonna be a the space modulator has to be. These are the laws and rules of the Acme Corporation. It has to be properly depicted with a with a fuse. Gigantic claw fingers. And then his other hand will be like,
oh, yes. Haha.
And they always draw them with like gloves, right? There we go. Do 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 do. And I actually was watching this cartoon about a week ago. He's got like his little tutu skirt, his like mini skirt thing, which is epic and hilarious. The way I'm drawing him though, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the tennis shoes in. Marvin the Martian, cup of coffee in the other hand. Oh yeah, there we go. I left his hand kind of open. Yes, Marvin the Martian, and then of course he had the giant tennis shoes, the high tops. And since it is Space Frog theme, we got to have Space Frog in here someplace. So yeah, but I'm gonna put him on his little platform. Do you remember the cartoon where he was It was the one with Bugs Bunny, but they were like in a very like weirdly mid-century modern space abstract space place. Yeah, that's what we're doing here today. Yes. Da, 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 da. And then Space Frog is gonna be on his way out of here. That's him from behind. This is a view of Space Frog we haven't seen before, but he's got his little rocket pack, right? And he's just, Space Frog is just getting out of there, right? He's just like, nope, nope, I've given you the space modulator and I am out. Oh yeah. And then we'll put things in the background for them. There's a thing here. There's a thing here. There we go. And I'll fill in some details on this. I promise. But yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think I've got a reasonably close facsimile to Marvin the Martian here. Yeah. There we go. All right. There. I want some blue. I would like some blue. I'm feeling blue. And since we're kind of working with the Ultramarines, we're going to work on this one here too. A little bit of this. I'm going to need a chromium oxide green. We're going to need our greens. We'll need some of that. There we go. I think I'm going to need a little yellow oxide. There we are. Keeps blipping out. I'm just getting some of my paints ready here. What else do I need? What else do I need? What else do I need? I will get out a little bit of a magenta. Yep. We're going to need some of that. Put that in over here. Whoops. Where's that thing? Darn it. All right, I'm getting some orange too. I want some orange for this effort. And I know I'm putting all. Here we go. Get this all over there. So I've got my. That's basically my black. I've got blue. I got a little bit of a green. This will be for Space Frog. I've got my yellow. I've got a little bit of magenta. And for this one, I'm gonna also put in a little bit of this orange because I'm gonna need it for the the lower down some dynamite, Maverick. For Maverick and his dynamite. Yeah, we're going to do that. All right. So I'm going to grab a wide brush here. I'm kind of going to mix this on the fly. I want space in the background, but I got a little bit of blue. There we go. And a little bit of black. It's going to come in pretty dark, but yeah, darker than I wanted. There we go. All right, let's do that. Maybe I can lighten this up as I go. I just need a good black background, blue-black. And we'll just keep doing that. There we go. I didn't want it completely black because we got completely black in Marvin's face. There we go. I'm making Space Frog flying off as if he just sort of handed him the thing. I should put the if I can get the coffee in, I'll put the coffee in. I like that idea. Just being like,
oh, thank you.
Shebang. Yeah, maybe this is my lost calling. Maybe I should have been like a traditional cell animator, as if that was even remotely a thing anymore. That I probably didn't have the patience and fortitude to sit still and do it, but I would have loved the chance to try, and certainly hanging out with these crazy people would have been like worth the price of admission, right? Certainly would have been worth the price of admission. All right, here we go. I'll try to pick up some more blue here. These paints do some weird stuff on this canvas too. It's kind of funny. They're so thin. Um, well, fluid. They're very fluid, right? It feels like I'm painting with ink. Like that's basically what this feels like. And maybe it's going to work well for these because they're kind of like cell animations anyway, right? But they're also just going to be fun. All right, there we go. Got it. This is looking cool. There we are. All right. I'm struggling. I know I think that his helmet was like variations of this color. Like I think because it's like bronze, right? Is what they were trying to capture, and then his yeah. I'll correct his eyes with some white. I'll bring some white in too to bring this into as we go, like to correct the eyes, make that read. And I think that his yeah up here. There we go. All right. And I feel like his yeah, because he had to have a green shirt. So I'm gonna use my chromic green for that. There we go. His gloves were white. That's right. His gloves were white. I think his feet were green as well. I just don't remember his tutu. You know, that's the thing. I don't. Oh gosh. Maybe it was. Yeah, I'll have to remember that. I'll bet that they used this color on it, but I don't have my book with me. I actually have a really nice Warner Brothers retrospective of Chuck Jones and the Warner Brothers stuff, but it's upstairs. It's upstairs. I can't see it. Anyway. Do 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 do. And of course, as we got green going on here, guess who else is green? Mr. Space Frog. Woohoo! And he's just flying away, so you know. There we go. Little Space Frog flying away action. Oh, I do need one other color. I need kind of a rust color. I have that with my. I have a burnt sienna. Yeah, I do have a burnt sienna. I got a burnt sienna right here. So we're gonna burnt sienna the ground. Is what we're gonna do. Oh, I'm gonna need another thing to put this on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we can do that. Lovin' the Martian. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna have to grab another. I need a couple more of these things. I only have. Can you believe I only have one? I used to have like a half dozen of them, and They're just they over the years they've wandered. I've thrown them out or something, lost them. I don't know. I used to have so many of them, a little, and they're not. It's not like they're terribly expensive or anything. But I just when you don't have one, you don't have one. Then that's just the way it goes. I actually have to do a I am overdue for a Blick order. So, all right. There we are. Well, let's just add a little bit more extra orange to it. There we go. We're gonna do that. The ground plane here. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Oh no, I'm getting it under my taped off region. That's okay. There we go. Up. And the feet. Actually, I kind of like that lightened up with a little bit more of that orange. I might do that again. Just a little bit more over there. There we go. Alrighty. I'm gonna have a hint, I think. A hint of blue in the shoes here. There we go. In the tennis shoes, that's very important. And the space suit. I forgot about that. The space suit was going to be kind of a off purpley kind of thing. I think I'm gonna need my white. I'm gonna need some more white. Yes, titanium white. I don't think I have any in there. Yes, I'm running out of paint. I had so many of these paints, I cannot believe that I'm down as far as I am on them. It's actually pretty cool. All right. Well, we're just going to pour a little bit on there. There we go. Yeah, there we are. My white for Space Frog's spacesuit. That's what we're going to do here. Oop, not so much. I'm going to do too much of that. Okay, there we go. A couple of times I've drawn Space Frog, and he's had this kind of either a blue spacesuit or a kind of purple toned spacesuit. I'm sort of on the fence. I like them both, and they both kind of work well with a green-skinned Space Frog. So I have to decide if I'm going to keep one or the other. I'm not sure. Anyhow, yeah, good times. Also, I feel like I want a couple more of those there. There we go. It is titanium white. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. All right. And I'm going to do this kind of, I'm going to cheat a little, make this kind of like a silver, like he's got a rocket pack on of some kind. And there we go. Now to really sell this scene, we're going to have to make sure that the Illudium Pew 34 space modulator is properly depicted in its original color. There we go. And then what's nice about this is a very orange color, but when you drop in some magenta on it, it takes on the requisite tone. There we go. I keep pulling colors out because I have to. All right. Add just a little bit of this yellow on here because we need some yellow. We need some yellow right here where the spark is. There we go. Right there. All right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit of this kind of gray tone for these structures back here. And where did my rest of my white go? I think I'm just going to share some white space with my burnt sienna here. I don't remember what I was going to do with it. Yeah, I've got a little bit of space frog jet action here going on. Let's see. I guess I could probably. I'm going to try to. Grab a little bit of white here for the eyes. There we go. Oh, thank you. Yes, exactly. And then we're going to bring in the stock there. I made a mistake of putting his leg back there. That was kind of crossing the beams a little bit. So I shouldn't have done that as much. All right. Coming back in for our nice red here for this. There we go. Oh, thank you. It's a little slop. There's a little slop involved, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh man, that's just terrible. My white is completely gone. There we are. Actually, this is it always happens with these. I have to wait until the paint dries before I can start adding some fun bits on it. But yeah, we'll go. We're just gonna add a few on there. There we are. Little Martian action. I'm gonna exaggerate the effects of the Ludian Pew 38 space modulator. And then if I can, we'll get Space Frog's helmet. Space Frog's just kind of flying away, so he's not really a center character in this one. He's just sort of doing his thing and getting out of there. At least that's the way I see it. And then we'll add some shadow. There we go. And we're going to highlight. We're going to come in with the black to call out some of our shapes so that they don't all get lost. Right? Same thing with the dynamite. Lower down the dynamite, Maverick. Another. I'm just a constant catalog of Looney Tunes cartoons. All right. And then the coffee cup. We'll give him the mug. We'll put the coffee cup right here and just pretend like that's his mug right there. That's what I'm gonna do. And and give a little like at the top. There we go. He's got a coffee mug. I love it. It's so silly. It's fine. I love it. There we go. It loses it a little bit here. I think I have to come in with the black. I think that which is unfortunate because I'm going to lose a little bit of the detail, but I think I need to do this. I think this is what is throwing it. It got a little bit, and maybe I'm going to cover up. I wanted to put some gadgets in the background, but it's too confusing. So I'm going to cover all of that up with just straight black. fact, I think his leg. Yeah, I put Space Frog's leg right behind him. That was a mistake. So I'm gonna do something else with the leg. I'll do like that. So he's just flying out of there. And need some more white. Gosh, my white situation. I'm very sad. I'm almost to the end of the run on Deep Space Nine on my Deep Space Nine watch. We're in season 7. And in season 7, they're going out of their way to introduce us to Ezri Dax. That was, and every episode is about her. So there we go. We'll grab this and finger through there, finger through there. There we go. I'm going to darken the fingers. Oh, I know what I needed that for. I know what I needed the white for. That's what it was. I want to delineate his face. There we go. Sort of. Maybe that's too much delineation. I needed a much smaller white line than that. Graphics, Chris. Graphics count, right? There we go. Yay. Best Star Trek and Captain, in my opinion. I am a big time fan of Benjamin Sisko. I absolutely think he was awesome. And that goes way back, all the way to the first airing of Deep Space Nine. One of my most exciting... it's one of the things that got me excited about the show. I was like, oh, they're doing a new Star Trek. Okay. Avery Brooks. I'm like, oh my God. Because I've seen him. What was his other show he was in? Hunter. No, I forget what it was. I've seen him in a couple of shows, and I'm like, that guy's awesome. That guy is very, very cool. I liked him as an actor. I liked his characters that he's done. And, yeah. On board. That was a selling point for me. Okay, well, I'm getting a little muddy with the effect here, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to call this one for Marvin the Martian. Some of these, again, I might have to clean up, but they're too wet to do anything. But yeah, Spencer, that was the one. Yeah. Avery Brooks, awesome. I would freaking watch. I would watch an entire show just of him talking. I swear. Oh, and Jake. Oh my gosh, and Jake. You know, it's hey, Dave Fletch. How you doing today? Happy Friday. Greetings. I think one of the most Deep Space Nine also has one of the best opening episodes. I feel. You know, it was. Especially if you've seen the show and you go back and watch the first episode when it's like Jake is so young and the two of them are just getting on the station for the first time and you have no idea at the time what they're going to be facing. It's cool. I like it. I think it's probably one of the most successful of the Star Trek shows since the original, and I love it every time. All right, so there we go. Dave, you're getting right in at the end of the action. I'm sorry. I didn't know Avery Brooks before DS9, but I loved him in episode 1. Yeah. I feel his frustration, though. I don't think he was on board with the hairstyle, and I'm so glad that they finally let him go. Yeah, we're gonna go for the real Sisko look. I'm sorry. I loved it. Yeah. He right about the time he feels like he's more comfortable in the character is about the time they let him like actually dress the part properly. Awesome. Hey, very cool. Well, listen, I'm at the end of about a 2-hour run. This was really cool. Let me pull out the other painting because I know. Hey, I'm going to show you what we did. So we did this. We did our weekly, which I forgot last week, painting of our Space Frog one, and the drawing this week was our Marvin the Martian. So we're filling it up there. But let me get the other one. Hang tight. All right. We were working in oils earlier, and so I did this one, which is an Aurora Borealis over probably a wintry scene of some kind. This was a a revision of an older painting that I had in the old mix here. Let me pull this back out. We can actually kind of see it. There we go. So there we are. Yeah. Aurora Borealis over a winter scene. Yeah. Good times tonight. Good times, everybody. I'm gonna make sure that that's actually not just hanging out here. This one's a very wet painting. So there we go. I'm gonna set it back before I smear it. But yeah, there's nothing quite like when someone says wet painting, and it's an oil painting like that. It's weird. It's not just wet. It's like it's like melted butter, right? That's basically the equivalent. It's like you're gonna touch it, it's gonna get everywhere, which is usually what happens. Nice! I got some great photos driving. Oh, in the last solar storm, you got some photos? Oh, very cool. I'm told tonight there may be some activity. The most I've ever gotten was a hint of green and magenta around the area here a few times when they came up and said, "Hey, there's going to be an aurora borealis in the evening." But I have to use my phone, otherwise it just won't show up at all. It is really crazy. But yeah, where's my other stuff? There we go. So at the end of the day, the end of a painting session anyway, with the exception of like the ones that I used for you can wash these off pretty easily with water, and all the other ones, as we were doing oils. I'm on an oil painting kick. I move between different mediums. So there we go, plural for medium and mediums. I'm not sure which. Anyway, I move between different paint types, and right now I'm on the oils. But of course, that means for those of you that don't know, here's your public service. You gotta wash them in chemistry, which I'm using basically a bit of. I think this is just straight mineral spirits, is what it is. You can use mineral spirits or turpenoid. I've done turpentine. Turpenoid is the what do you call it? The odorless version of turpentine. These are the things that will increase the amount of fumes in your experience. And right now, I gotta open a window in here because I can smell the paints. I can tell that it's in there. I'm looking forward to having a good night when we have a solar event that isn't where we actually have clear skies, so I can set something up and take photos. And for that matter, I've barely even seen Orion this year because we've had so many cloudy days. It's killing me. I had such a great time this fall with the telescope. We had apparently fall and spring. You get around here. You get more of the clear days. Middle of summer, humid and cloudy. Winter, obviously cloudy for different reasons. But yeah, I would like to. I never actually. I recently ran into my photos of the solar eclipse that occurred 2 years ago now. It'll be 2 years ago this April, right? And I don't think I ever actually properly dealt with those and posted them. So for those of you on the Patreon, you might be getting a real surprise in the form of a solar eclipse photo or two here pretty soon. Yeah. Anyway, I would say that this is I start so many things, and I've gathered so much raw data in the forms of photos and started paintings and things that if I don't finish half this stuff, I'm never going to get around to it. So that's the theme this year. Stay in the studio, turn out some cool stuff, make lives happier. My own included. I love oil painting. It has so much depth in the color. It feels good to move it around the canvas. I agree. It's a different experience than acrylics, and I like it. And it's one that I come back to, especially on my. I guess you could say sort of my higher end paintings. I find that I always end up turning to oils in one fashion or another. If you ever visit Montana, you should drop by. I have 20 acres and clear skies. We're in. All right, 20 acres, clear skies in Montana. Next road trip. I would love that. Montana is one of the places that we had considered when we did our move. Do you get a place that's inexpensive enough where you can own it outright? Montana was definitely on the list, although it was harder to find a place in our budget. Our budget was pretty low. We had a Pennsylvania budget. I don't think we had a Montana budget, but yeah, it was fun. So maybe next time. But yeah, Montana, I love it. Every time I've driven through, it's I think, wow, I could get used to this. And anytime we've stayed, it felt fantastic. I love most of the long drive through Montana. It becomes the longest part of the trip coming east and west. But yeah, look at all the stuff in front of me. This is hilarious. This is the way my table ends up too. At the end of the day, half of these will be like chemistry, and the other half will be like things I can clean up with water. That's all good. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm gonna close it out for Friday. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you, everybody. We will be back next week. Sunday, for those of you on Patreon, I am going to be doing Coffee with Cats in the afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to be late afternoon coffee. We're gonna see if we can get the cats to pay attention. And if I don't, I'm trying to get the GoPro to be the source video, and so I can walk around and follow them around. If I can't do that, I'm going to be using my phone. Avalanche Hound, just subscribe. Thank you, Avalanche Hound. Wonderful. Welcome aboard. So for those of you that have enjoyed the cat stuff, we'll be doing our Patreon live stream Sunday at 3 p.m. There's going to be cats. Thank you, everybody. And we'll give you a little update on the paintings in the studio. Thank you again, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe. Watch out for each other. We will catch you all. We will get through this together. I swear. Peace out, everyone. Oh, wrong one. Outro.
All right, so I've taken my white paint with my little fan brush here, and let's just see how crazy this goes. This is where I throw paint everywhere.
Hey, thank you, Houdini Bob.
That just kind of gives it an air of legitimacy that it doesn't deserve. You know?
I have Bob Ross the shit out of this painting. Yow.